You'll now be connected to the network.
Debe ponerle todo ahí. Y si pone, if she didn't take me.
Okay. Yes. But she was gonna take the car in the last minute. No. Stole my son's car. Yes, no, yeah. I said, don't worry, I'm not going to talk. Yeah, exactly. Shit. Kwame, is that ready? Is that ready? Yeah. Say it again? You.
Those who don't know, it's considered not selected. How many ones so Sean looked that up and reached out to
Mike
make
one?
presentation.
No. Good evening. No. Very loud. It's on now. All right. Good evening, everyone. All right, we're going to
evening.
get started immediately. I'm hoping that today's meeting will be, everybody should be out of here in a very short period of time. So if we have our seat, we will get started.
Star six.
All right. I apologize for not being here last month. First of all, it's now 7:09. And of course, I had a gavel somewhere, but the gavel seems to be missing. Right? Officially call this meeting to order. That's just a slight, Ms. Frazier. I don't know. What did I do with the gavel? Do you know what I did with it? No, I thought I had it, but maybe I didn't put it back one of the times. All right, so let's get started real fast. We're We'll start off with the chairperson's report. I'm going to make my chairperson's report extremely short. First of all, I could not make it last month. I had my son, and if you know me personally, one of my sons plays baseball, and he got invited to Florida, and at the last moment had to change how the flight packages were going to go. So he did well. Just for the side note, he did pretty well. And if you know baseball, he batted over 500, a couple of home runs and other things. So he made Daddy proud. I want to publicly thank First Vice Chair June Prasad. She stepped in for the meeting. She went to a couple of events in my stead. So I'm very thankful for that. I understand there were some issues last month in terms of things that were brought to the floor. One, and I did say in the executive board meeting that we will do a training on Robert's rules to go over that. So hopefully we're going to be able to get that done in February to remind all of the executive board members and leaders of the board what it is, what Robert's rules is, and how to govern it by then. I am pleased to announce that the Yard, FEC, in March, and I'll ask Ms. Frazier to send out a notification to the community that they'll be honoring me. FEC's, the Yard is a part of Rising Ground, and they're opening up a new office on Church Avenue. I think I want to say the address is 3402 Church Avenue. They'll be naming their conference. Oh, Natasha, hi. It's 3402, Natasha? 3521 Church Avenue, and they'll be naming 3 different parts of the new building after 3 different community persons. One of them is Curtis Nelson from Sesame Flyers. The other one is Dawn Swaby from The Kitchen. And myself, Roderick F. Daly, will also be getting a room named after him as well. I guess when Mr. Steva comes up, she'll talk about that a little bit more. So, first of all, I want to thank all of the community, because us working together to get things done in the community is part of what that is. I also want to thank our chair. Where is she? I thought I saw her, Chair Berlat. Please stand up. I want to publicly thank you for the Christmas lighting event on December 20th. I heard it was phenomenal. So thank you very much for that. And I saw Dan. I did see Dan. I know I saw him. Oh, he's right there. So thanks to him and Council Member Farrah Lewis's office as well for their work with making that tree lighting happen. So thank you to all of you for getting that done. I know that many of you have received some letters at home on some personal matters. The board will deal with that at a later session. It will not be something that we'll be addressing tonight. Okay? And that's all I have to say about that. With that being said, are there any questions with the chairperson's report? Oh, one more thing, I'm sorry. For those of you who are, I did have a birthday party planned for this month, but if you didn't get the notification, I did cancel it for a number of reasons. So no birthday party. I do plan to have one next year though, God's willing. So that's that. I did want to make sure that I announced that. With that being said, are there any questions or concerns from my chairperson's report? Seeing none, please bring up the district manager for her report.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. You could smile even though you're receiving letters this evening. Come on. Okay, so thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to members of the board, those members for their guidance and support throughout 2024. To the ADM, our Assistant District Manager, thank you for her unwavering dedication to our community and to our community partners. I want to say thank you for your trust and collaboration during last year. 2024 has marked some significant milestones, achievements, despite the many challenges that the board continues to have. We will remain professional and we will continue to do the work of the board. I would like to thank our former board member, Ms. Tamara Thomas, for her input as it pertains to getting our website up and running. Both she and I worked diligently on setting up the site, and with the hiring of our ADM, she continues to update and maintain the site. I also just recently reached out to the Office of Technology and Information to schedule a content accessibility training for both the ADM and I, and we want to be able to continue to enhance the site and make it more appealing and to include more information and resources for the board. So those are some of the things that we've been doing. We have also worked very hard in 2024 to bring our office back to a place where it can be in a place that can accommodate our visitors when they step through the doors. So a welcoming office to our community residents and our community partners. We've worked very hard over the year to get it to the place that it's at right now. I want to encourage you to continue calling your complaints in to 311. Very important. We need that statistics. Just on a monthly basis, I try to get into the 311 system to see, just to get an idea of where most of the calls are coming from and what kind of calls are being called in from our community. And HPD has the highest number, then NYPD, DSNY, DOT, DEP, and the list goes on and on. But in the zip codes that falls within our district, 11203 had the most calls last month, then 11226, followed by 11212, then 11210, and 11236. So it's good for us to have that statistics because when we are preparing our capital and expense budget, it gives us an idea of what some of the complaints are from our district, and the budget chair and the budget team could look at the type of complaints, the type of resources, the kind of services that are being asked and the complaints that are called in, and we could use that to get the resources that's very important for our community. Last night, I was really delighted to sit on the Housing and Black Association meeting. I really had an opportunity to emphasize the need for association and the importance of Black associations. I am an advocate for Black associations. I've been doing this for over 30 years. And there's been a lot of conversations on how we can continue. There's been a decrease in association. And as I've said before, the decrease is because most of the Black presidents have aged out. And we have to come up with a plan, with strategic plans, and be proactive on how we can engage the younger generation and getting them involved in Black associations and have a voice. I also understand the importance of CB 17 representing the board at some of, tabling events that are throughout the community. Most of the tabling events are held on Saturdays. And that's something that I did with my time, on my time, without a salary over the years. We are going to make sure that whenever we have a new hire, that Saturday would be part of their schedule so that tabling can be covered when the office is closed officially. So those are some of the things that we're looking at. Myself and the Block Association president, we have some plans. We're talking about workshops, getting, taking it around the community and doing some more things to engage. And if you have any ideas, please feel free to share it with us. And these are the kind of positive things that we would like to see done on the board, and not to always come here on a monthly basis and the back and forth. We want to engage our community residents. Please call us at the office, share your ideas. I shared with the chair last night, it's time for us to get our elected officials at some of our committee meetings and let them talk about legislation. Let's find out some of the bills that they're writing. I think it's important. Month after month, we hear complaints, sanitation. We hear complaints about noise. HPD is not doing their job. Let us have our elected officials who represents us and bring those issues to their ears. And we'll find out exactly what they're doing. So it's important that we do that. And in closing, as I've said before, please let's be proactive to engage and empower the residents of our community. As we move forward into the new year, I am confident that the board is well positioned to achieve greater success with the unwavering support of those members who are proactive, who are positive, who wants to see betterment for this community. I am a strong believer that we can do it. So thank you all for being here this evening. And if you have any questions, I am more than willing to answer.
All right, I do have one because a number of things have come up, and I just want, you didn't talk about it today. Can you tell the board why we haven't hired a community associate yet? You did talk about how many applicants we had and what.
So far, a matter of fact, we did receive one more application today.
So we only received what?
Excuse me, I'm still recovering from a cold, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We received one more application today.
Oh, we did receive another one.
Only one, yes, today.
Okay.
So it's something that we're working on. But Mr. Chair, I still believe that we need to reach out to Borough Hall in terms of the posting and the length that it has been there. So there are some things that we're going to be looking at. I did make a note of that on my things to do list today. And you said something else that I need to address?
No, that's it. I was just letting the public know
They
that,
can go on the website.
yeah, that one, that I am going to send it out to the general public. Some of you received my text messages, so you received that one as well. If you know somebody who's interested in applying for the community associate position, please do let the board know, let them submit the application on there's a link online. And so they could apply for that. Question.
Good evening, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
It's been the norm to post job postings on the city's website, so it's publicly disseminated. What reason has there been for only so far, when I last asked, to put it only on the board's website where there's very little traffic to actually see the posting?
So I know.
Mr. Chair, I'll answer.
Yeah.
I will send you the email that I forward to DCAS. That's where job postings are done, and I will forward that email to you just to prove that it was submitted to DCAS for posting. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other question?
I would, yeah, that's basically what my answer was going to be, that it was sent to the city and it was not posted.
Thank you.
answer was, I'm not going to discuss it. That's what I was told, and it was only posted on the board's website. So just for clarification, I'm not going to discuss it. That's what I was told, and it was posted only on the board's website. So thank you very much for subsequently sending it where it really should be posted. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for the district manager? I also wanted to publicly thank, I did forget that in my report, Ms. Thomas for her work. She came in May of 2022 and immediately took on the role of secretary. I called her up and asked if she was interested in something, and she's, asked what the job entails, and then she ran with it and did a very good job, very noble job in terms of getting us started, especially with the website. We were trying to work out some emails, which was still didn't get as it relates to the board. I think by next year, we're going to try to find a new method in terms of getting the emails done. And that might actually come at a cost to the board. So we'll have to look into that as well. With that being said, is there a question online?
Yes, I do. I have a question. What platform are you using for the website?
I'm sorry, say it again.
What platform are you using for the website?
What platform are we using for, do you know off the top of your hand, which, Notion, do you know the platform? WordPress.
Yeah, I can help with that.
I could help with that.
My name is Zeus. I can help with that.
Hillsap, oh, you're a board member.
No, I'm not a board member. I'm a member of the community.
Okay, so then I would ask you to reach out to Notion Farah, the ADM in the district's office, and she'll follow up with me. Or you could send me an email regarding that as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, with that being said, any other questions? Is that a hand over there or? No, okay. So let's go straight to the committee reports. Just quickly, please don't come up if you don't have anything to say. Just say you yield the floor. There was a document in the back. It has Parks and Beautification, land use on it, right? And also, I think this was yours. I believe, Ms. Frazier, was that you that prepared also a little write-up here for each of your committees? If you submitted your report. All right, with that being said, if you don't have anything, please just say I yield, right? Just say I yield the floor. I would appreciate that. Budget. Thank you. Commerce. It's absent. Gail Grandison, Education and Youth. Okay, she's not here. I know she's out sick. She's been in and out of the hospital over the last couple of weeks. That has been shared with board members. Do reach out to her, say hello, to check in on her. I think she might actually be, is she online? Can you check for me, Chair Frey? I know she said she might try to get online. Just to know that we have the youth happening coming up in August. And so we're still looking for partners for the youth happening. I know Natasha, yeah, I'm counting on you again. This time we want some book bags, right? So reach out, get some book bags, just put you on the spot. And any other members of the community, our elected officials played a big part in the youth happening in the past. And I must say that the only two, I want to say only two. I could be wrong, maybe a third, but I'm going to say the only two last year were Councilmember Farrah Lewis. Again, we're shared by, I think, 4 council members. Only Councilmember Farrah Lewis, I know that factually. I think in the past, Councilmember Rita Joseph has done something. And we also had State Assembly person, Monique Chandler Waterman. Our chair can correct me on that, but I remember those two very specifically. So our other council members, State Senate and State Assembly, you need to step up. I know that State Senator Roxanne Prasad has been very active within our community as well. So even if she might not have been there for the Youth Happening, she has been there for a number of our other events to support. So if you know I'm wrong, I want you to correct me now. Correct me now. Oh, hi, Councilmember. I'm referencing last August's Youth Happening. No, I said that you have done it in the past. I did say that. I very clearly said that. And you know what? It's very important that you let me know that, because one of the issue that we had last year was the outing of information. So I'm glad that you told me that, because as far as I know, I was told that all council member, all elected officials were told. Right? So I'm just letting you know that. So just for the record, so you know that's on your calendar. It's the first Thursday in August. I don't remember the date off the top of my head, but put it there. While you're at it, there are a couple of other things in the community that we want to do too. Yes. I'm glad I said something. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Somebody else didn't call my name. I heard my name. Oh, that's Councilman. Oh, Council Member, please introduce yourself. They said, who are you? All right. Thank you, Council Member Rita Joseph. All right, let's move on. Land use, there was a report on the back. Do you have any? I saw it. You yield your time. Please, again, if you did not collect this, it looks like this. It's in the back. All right. Parks and beautification. Thank you. Public safety. Not present. Sanitation, DEP. Thank you. Social services. Yes, go ahead with your report.
Good evening. My name is Chair Oni. I am Chair of the Social Services Committee. And I just wanted to share, there is a flyer in the back, the Brooklyn Health Equity Coalition, which was a coalition that came together all throughout Brooklyn to save SUNY Downstate, has formed the Community Action Board, and the Community Action Board is having a public hearing next Wednesday here at 6 p.m. There's up to $750 million in potential investments to go into SUNY Downstate, and it's important that we have community voices shaping the way that those investments are applied. So it is a public hearing. It is here. The information is in the back. Please make sure to grab a flyer, scan the QR code, share it with people that you know, share it with people that you know who are in the medical field, who care about this community, because as you know, we almost lost Downstate, and the fact that Brooklyn came together to save it is really important, and it's just important that people show up. I hope this room is packed next week, Wednesday. I will be here. And yeah, I just want to emphasize that it would be great if people showed up. And also, the Social Services Committee is always looking for new and active members. So if you're interested in joining, please reach out to the office. Thank you.
Personnel?
Good evening, everyone. I am Rose Graham, the Chair of the Personnel Committee, and District Manager Frazier has shared most of what needs to be said regarding personnel. But in addition, District Manager has been trying to arrange a meeting, a personnel meeting with HR and the union, and she has been unsuccessful. But as soon as we get word, then that will be put into place, and that's the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Ad hoc. Postal. Communications is excused. Bylaws. Brookdale Cap. Do you yield? Tricia? Okay. Sure, go ahead.
Hello. Okay. Yeah. So while you're in the room, again, also want to extend thank you to all of the electeds and the representatives who helped save Downstate, because you haven't necessarily been here when we talked about it, just to say thank you. But I remember, you know, the emails back and forth, the meetings, and Brooklyn's electeds really showed up to save this institution for this community. So I want to thank you all for that work.
Thank you. Agency report. Agency report. Step forward. Your board member also. Dr. Renaud, that's you? So you have to do it during board member report. Oh, I skipped housing? Is healed. I'm sorry, not yet with agency, housing. Hold on, one second, member Bellin. Let you finish your statement so that you see what she's saying. Go ahead. The housing report is in the back. Thank you. Member Bellin. No, well, the board treasurer never really gives a report until May or June. But sometimes if they do have something that they'd like to offer, I do give them all of the executive offers the opportunity to speak. With that being said, are there any executive offer? You're the treasurer. I said, I was just asking if any, well, actually, no, I have to do it in order. So you have any report? Second Vice Chair?
Just remind everyone, if you would like to speak from the floor, please come up to the mic so it can be properly recorded. Thank you.
And state your name.
June Purcell.
No. I meant in general. Tell them to state your name as well.
Oh, sorry, that's funny. And state your name and your affiliation to the community. Thank you.
Second Vice Chair. Second Vice Chair. Report, Treasurer.
Yeah, Julia James, Treasurer. I believe the board is entitled to transparency. So when I was elected as the treasurer, it was my intent to make sure, at least if not every month, every other month, the board was aware of the finances of the district, of the board. Unfortunately, before I could sign off or give a report, it would have required me to just scan through, get some comfort with how expenditures were going. I was never allowed to see the supporting documentation, and so I cannot and will not issue a report until that is available. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's noted, however, in the bylaws, it does not state that. So I just want to make sure that we are not giving information that's not true. The bylaw does state that in May and June, I don't know the exact words, but I do know that the bylaws does not state that treasurer, that any officer, for that matter, except for the secretary, gives a monthly report. The first vice chair is supposed to talk about attendance. The second vice chair is supposed to follow whatever the chair asks, if anything, or if they find anything that needs to get done. And the treasurer needs to do and focus on the minutes. So I just want everybody to be clear what the bylaw says. And it doesn't say that. Moving right along. Agency, I did see one person stand up. I did see one agency come to the mic. Is a library, CERT, any officers, those things.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. I saw someone sign before me, so I was trying to. That one?
Also, please state your name, affiliation, and agency.
Yeah. That one? Take that? Yeah, I saw someone before me, so I was trying to defer. My name is Taina Evans. I work at Brooklyn Public Library. I'm a regional director. Thank you so much, Chair. Thank you, District Manager. Thank you, Councilmember Rita Joseph over there. But I bring you, I want to say Happy New Year. I also want to say Happy Founders Day to anyone who's in the Greek affiliation. Alma, I see you. And Sister Greek over here. I do have a couple of announcements on Brooklyn Public Library before I share a big announcement that's going to benefit the community members of CB 17. But I want to give us a look back of 2024. In 2024, the Library Culture Pass program celebrated 100,000 reservations. If you don't know, Culture Pass allows you to use your library card to visit museums and other institutions, historical sites, and performance venues. We launched Browse the Branches last February. We asked New Yorkers to friendly compete to all 62 locations. Yes, we have 62 locations in Brooklyn. And January 21, 2022, the Clarendon Library closed down for HVACs. And due to the valiant effort of our City Council member, Farah Lewis, for pushing DDC to expedite the process, because believe it or not, the pandemic definitely had some delays. And we came to the board to kind of discuss with you all the delays that have happened with the Clarendon Library. But in the same month, we are very happy, and I'm standing here with my colleague, the branch manager of the Clarendon Library. We're very happy to welcome you all back to the community in 2 weeks, actually, January 27th. So please remember this address, 2035 Nostrand Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11210, between Farragut and Glenwood. And I'm gonna turn it over to my colleague to tell you all the things that we have prepped.
My name is Sarah Demian, and I'm very happy to be here this evening. We have been waiting a while, and the building looks wonderful. We're still working on a couple things, but we're getting bookshelves, we're getting everything ready for the 27th. So on the 27th, the doors are going to open at 11. We are going to provide food, snacks. We are going to have a performer starting at noon. We invited a class to come see the performer, but the performer is both for children and adults. So then we're also going to have a steel pan drummer for most of the day. And we are going to continue activities for the children throughout the day. And we'll be welcoming members of the community in from 11 o'clock on. So we look really very forward to seeing everybody. And we're very excited. Thank you.
I also want to add that there was a push with our Assembly member, Rodney Bichat, and also Senator Parker to get things moving. But again, it was spearheaded by Councilmember Farah Lewis. And I do want to add that this is your library. So you not only are we telling you that the library is opening, but we're welcoming you back to it. So reach out to Sarah if you have a program that you want to see. Your library card gets you access to printing things. We have all new all-in-one computers. I mean, HVAC is not something that you could physically see, but it should feel warm and toasty when it's 25 degrees outside. So our flyers are in the back. Invite all. And we have a monthly calendar. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to print it out, but I can share my email and I'll share it slowly for those who are online. It's Evans, TEVANS @BKLYNlibrary.org. And I will happily share you the monthly calendar that we have. Oh, and there goes our council member now who helped the Clarendon Library open. Oh yeah. I mean, you guys could do a round of applause, but if not, I get it. It's kind of tense up in here. Yeah, and I'll turn it over to the CERT folks, right? Or, okay.
Let me.
Yeah, that's you.
I'm on. Well, thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Tom Wagner. I am Division Chief of CERT in Brooklyn. CERT is the Community Emergency Response Team. We are not first responders. We are second responders. We step up when the police and the fire department request our help. We direct a lot of traffic and we hand out water and we provide increasingly more services to communities. There are 3 districts in Division 6. They are 12, 14, and 17. And I'm here to tell you that 17 has been very, very active lately, and we're gaining traction in your neighborhood. We're here to help. When we're not assisting the fire department and the police department with things like pedestrian traffic during large events, what we do is we hand out emergency preparedness information. Now, we have some things going on in the country that dwarf everything that's terrible, but disasters do happen. We did have a fire in Prospect Park, but it's still hurricane season. And I want you to be prepared for anything that might happen. We say it doesn't happen to us. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. We have a load of emergency preparedness information. And we have a bunch of people who are FEMA trained, volunteer corps, who are FEMA trained, work under the banner of NYSEM, the New York City Emergency Management. So Community Emergency Response Team is your local connection to NYSEM. We're here to help. We're making friends with the 6-7. We are increasingly operating in your neighborhood. And I have a table in the back with a lot of good information on it. And some of those little stickers you can put on your refrigerator so you can put grandma's number and the doctor's number. Please stop back to the table before you go and take some of our information and let us know who you are. We had a great time in December at Patriot Park at the tree lighting ceremony. We were there. And some of our council people were there and the police were there. And CERT is building its presence in your neighborhood. We're here to help. If you have any ideas about what we could do for you, or you want to know more about what we can do for you, please come back to the table and say hello to Tom. Thanks for listening to me. Bye.
Thank you. Are there any other agencies? Go ahead, Natasha. Come on up. Deputy Inspector at the same time.
Good evening. How are you? Hi, everybody on Zoom or on WebEx and in person. I am Natasha Estiva, the director for the new East Flatbush Family Enrichment Center, also known as the Yard. Mr. Daly spoke shortly about us in the beginning. We have a few events coming up. But more importantly, our doors will be opening really soon. Our tentative date for our grand opening is March 22nd. It's open to the whole entire community, local agencies, and also to officials, elected officials. We would like to meet with you guys and see if you guys want to take part in our grand opening, maybe say a few words for the community, and also partner with us in future events. We have a town hall that happens bi-weekly on WebEx. We have flyers in the back. That takes part every other Tuesday. We have a session at 10 a.m. and a session at 6 p.m. We just want to hear what the people want to see happening in East Flatbush. This is not your conventional community center. We do not have deliverables to reach. We are doing what the community wants. It's up to the community. It's community-led. We're looking for community members to become a part of our advisory board. You guys will be privy on pieces of the budget. You guys will be the ones that lead us on what events and activities and offerings we provide. Our space will be is located at 3521 Church Avenue on the corner of Brooklyn. And if you ride past there now, you'll see it. There's new windows up. Our awning should be up in about a week or so, but we will physically be inside of our location January 27th. Not open to the community as of yet, but you can come by, ask questions. You could join our implementation meeting. We have stacks of flyers in the back. Please feel free to grab them. I have my business card. I would like for you guys to tune in and tap in with me. We could talk, discuss future events, things that you got going on, things that we have going on. Introduce me to community members that are prominent, that want to be a part of this program. And we're here. And I'm just here to say that we're here. Happy New Year. And the FEC to y'all will be opening really soon, and I hope to see all of you guys come by. Thank you. And everything is absolutely free at our program, absolutely free.
Thank you. Deputy Inspector?
Microphone, or is this good? Other one? Okay, all right. Just wondering why that was down. All right, can everyone hear me on this one? Yeah? No? No, the other one's better, right? This one, no? Okay, all right. All right, good evening, everyone. All right, I'll back up from that so it's not too loud. I'll just give you a recap on where we ended the year for the precinct, 67th precinct for 2024, and where the year is kind of starting out now that we're a few weeks into it. So for 2024, we predominantly track like the top 7 major crime index crimes. So that's your homicides, robberies, felony assaults, burglaries, rape, grand larcenies, and your GLAs, which are your stolen vehicles. So overall for the year in 2024, we saw an increase in crime, about a 3.8% increase in crime. However, when you take a look at the overall in each individual index crime, we saw an increase in 2 separate categories. It's what I've mentioned each time that I've come throughout the year. We had an increase in rape, about 44 versus 41. That might be attributed to a change in the way that rapes are now reported. They changed some of the crime categories, some of the crime classifications within the penal law, and those now fall under rape. So whether or not that was actually an increase or a decrease, I couldn't say without doing a much deeper analysis on it. But I would see that as a trend going into this year, because again, those were things that were being recorded under other penal law codes. The second crime category that we saw an increase in was in felony assaults, a very large increase. It was a 28% increase in felony assaults. About half of those are attributed to domestic violence crimes. We saw historic reporting this year in domestic violence crimes. That was not just limited to the 67th precinct. That's actually a citywide and a nationwide trend where felony assaults and domestic violence crimes saw an overall increase. When you take a look at our violent crime for 2024, we actually had the lowest number of shooting incidents since we started keeping that data. So 1994 is the start of our CompStat data. This was the lowest year we had with 28 shooting incidents, obviously being a decrease from the prior year, but also over the previous 30 years. Homicides, we also saw a decrease of about 40%. We recorded 10 homicides last year compared to 17 the prior year. And for shots fired incidents, which are when basically a gun goes off, but nobody is struck, we also saw a 25% reduction in shots fired incidents. So we were trending for 2024 in the right direction with regard to violent crime. Again, for 2024, you look at some of the quality of life issues. When it came to firearms, we took 146 illegally possessed firearms off of the street. And when you go to cars, and I know that that's always a hot topic, no matter how many cars we seem to tow, more derelict cars seem to pop up along the neighborhood. But our NCOs and various tow operations they did throughout the year, coming out with sanitation and our local tow operations, they had towed 302 abandoned vehicles. Obviously, that's something, like I said, that's a month-to-month and day-to-day issue within the precinct, and something that our neighborhood coordination officers will continue to focus on in 2025. Now, going into the start of this year, we're still partially with 2024 data, because we take a look at a 28-day period. We are up in two categories, and one of these incidents is what I'll get into, because I do know it would be topical. It was a broad daylight incident. Again, we're seeing an increase in felony assaults. We recorded 54 versus 48 for the past month. And we are up in homicides. We have one homicide so far for the year that happened this past Sunday. Overall, for the precinct, though, we've seen over 20% reduction in crime over the past month. So hopefully that's a trend that we'll see in the coming year. Like I said, we have recorded one homicide already for this year. For those of you that might have been out and about, this past weekend on Sunday afternoon on Church and Utica, we had a dollar van driver that was shot and killed. He was parked alongside the road. Another dollar van pulled up alongside the car. And unfortunately, he was, like I said, he was shot. It's still under investigation. Obviously, this is a very concerning situation because it is out in the street, middle of the day, no concern for public safety whatsoever. However, we do believe that this is an isolated incident. This is most likely where these two individuals are known to each other. There probably was something that unfortunately was brewing over the last few weeks or maybe months. So that is something that the detective squad is still investigating. We don't have them identified yet, but they are working video and working to track down the other vehicle. You'll also see that there's an increase in dollar van enforcement along the corridors where you would typically find your dollar vans. So that's not just from the 67th precinct, that's also from our citywide traffic task force. So they'll be out there doing enforcement. Obviously, a lot of these vans are not legally operated. Even when you take out how they pick up people, I know that this is a manner of getting around and always has been, and likely always will be. I don't think I'm chasing dollar vans out of the 67th precinct right now, but there's an intelligence value to doing some of this enforcement and hopefully getting some of the dollar vans to start complying with some of the registration rules and whatnot, and even licensing, because a lot of them do not have legal licenses to drive within New York City. I'll just open up the floor to any questions if anyone has.
I have a question.
Step to the mic and ask questions. Again, I'm taking about 4 questions, so.
Make them good.
Popcorn, if you have questions, please come up to the mic. 4 questions.
I have
State your name first.
I have a question on Zoom.
I'm Kadiatu Odrago. I'm a board member. Question, do you guys have any type of data on the legal smoke shops and if you guys have been able to close some or not?
So the sheriff's office is the one that has jurisdiction over it. The sheriff's office for a while did have a task force with the NYPD, and they were going around the neighborhood and they were doing various inspections. And it was all done by the sheriff's department because you can't just target specific locations that are issues. They have to go in order and basically visit everybody. I typically do have that. I told them don't put it in my packet today. If I was going to guess, it was probably around 22, maybe 22. Okay, so 22 throughout the year. So when the sheriffs go out and they do, it may or may not be a closure. Sometimes it goes in, it's a full closure. Sometimes it's a summons, and you'll go up to them and you'll see that summons gets taped on the front door. That eventually does come with another inspection. There's no time frame, and I guess there shouldn't be a time frame. If you know they're coming back in 3 weeks, you're going to hide your product when the inspection's coming around. So the sheriff's office does come around along with that NYPD task force to do that. So we're about 22, but obviously there's far more than 22 within the neighborhood, and in every neighborhood, smoke shops are. Unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, I guess if you're a customer, it's a good thing, but for the neighborhood, it comes with a large number of issues, especially with youth that are going in.
Okay, thank you.
There was a question online.
May I?
Please identify yourself.
Yes, my name is Zeus. I wanted to find out that.
I'm sorry, what is your name?
My name is Zeus.
Please state your full name for the record.
Zeus Walton.
Pardon me?
Asking why.
I'm sorry, we didn't hear you. You're breaking up wherever you are.
Why is it that I cannot reach the 6-7 precinct through the regular landline? No desk sergeant. And when I do get through and leave a message for community affairs, no one is back to me for over a year. Why is also I have been experiencing bullying and harassment on my believe I am entitled to help and assistance from the 6-7 precinct that has jurisdiction over my block on Rockaway Parkway. What to do?
So
I'll pass and mute.
have you been calling for an entire year and you didn't get a response? Or
That is
did you
correct.
call a year ago and didn't get a response?
And no, throughout the year. I'm a daughter of a former police officer, and I have been calling and calling for community affairs to help. All things. I haven't been able to reach anyone in that precinct. They don't answer the phone there. And I would like to know why.
Well, obviously, we're going to have misses when you come into the precinct there, and anybody that's been into the precinct, it is probably one of the busiest lobbies that I've seen across a number of commands that I've worked in. But a year is completely unacceptable. It's almost unbelievable that it's been a year that we haven't been able to get in touch with somebody. I am here with community affairs, though. I don't know if you're comfortable giving me your information. Obviously, you're on an open forum, so I don't know if that's something you want to pass along to
Put
the
my number in
community
the
board once
chat.
you're
I
offline.
can give you my number.
Okay, let's see if we can hear it.
Can you type it?
This sounds like a
wait, wait.
personal issue, and it's something that I think we.
Wait, can you type it in, your number into the screen, and we'll forward it to Detective Skinner? Can you type your number into the screen? Send a private message.
My number in the
Kwame.
chat.
Ma'am, we both can't speak at the same time. Can you send a private message to Kwame Afray on the screen? Send a private message, your phone number to Kwame Afray, and he'll get it to Detective Skinner.
Okay, thank you. Sure.
Yeah, you'll get it.
I'll
You'll
do
get a
that.
personal follow-up immediately after we get the phone
Okay, I
number.
appreciate that. Okay,
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
your service.
Chair
Thanks for your
Westcott.
service.
Thank you.
The name is Westcott. Hello, Inspector.
Hi.
In regards of these dollar cabs, there are these vans, they're like school buses. They actually drive in the bus lanes. What can be done about it? Because a lot of times they just cut people off and just keep on going. What can be done about it?
For who? For just regular motorists, or was it dollar van driving? The bus?
I guess it's dollar.
Yeah, the big, like, they look like accessorides is the best.
They're speaking about dollar cabs, okay? But
Yeah.
they're not cabs, they're like school buses.
Yeah, that's like the dollar van. So right now, like I said, we have the officers that are out there doing enforcement. We actually brought 2 back to the precinct tonight over the last probably 2 hours. I'm getting text messages, they're coming in. And in addition to that, the MTA, and obviously that's not us, the buses now are supposed to have cameras on the front that are taking photos. The problem with that is if they're fake plates or then, not legitimate plates, those summonses are not going anywhere. So that's going on to the enforcement that our officers are working on now.
All right, and another problem. On Utica Avenue between Avenue D and Fourth Avenue, there's a car wash. There's a car wash, and then there's different businesses there. The park on the sidewalk, it's on the right side going up to Kings Highway. I mean, it's a mess. The sideways, it's a mess over there. So I appreciate if you could look into it.
Are they working out of a building, or they're just working right on the sidewalk?
Excuse me?
Are they working out of a building, or they're just working on the sidewalk?
They're working on the sidewalk.
Okay.
Because what happened, apparently, they buy these old ovens and stuff like that. And it's all being worked on the sidewalk.
Okay, I'll have not YCOs, the NCOs take a look at that. We'll see what other agencies we can
Can you
bring.
tell me, I know there was a car wash at the corner of Farragut, which we stepped into before. So there's a car wash now on Utica Avenue between Avenue D and Foster.
Mechanic shop?
Or is it a detail shop? So is it a mechanic shop or a detail shop? Is it a mechanic shop or a detail shop? Okay, all right.
Are there like derelict cars that are out there, like that are being worked on? Are there like car parts and stuff? Okay. All right, I'll have them take a look and see, because that might be consumer affairs if it's going to be a car wash, but I'll see what we can do and what agencies we could bring in.
All right, thank you. Any other question, please see the Deputy Inspector in the back, and we'll move from there.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you. We're going to move to legislative report. We have our council member Joseph was here first, so she gets the floor first. Councilmember Joseph, followed by Councilmember Lewis. She's still here, Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Yes, she is. Community session, yes. Guy, let her speak first and then we go to community session. I did skip over it.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you. I'm Councilmember Rita Joseph, representing the 40th District. So if you live in that district, I'm your council member. But there's also been some new lines with the redistricting as of January 1st of 2023. So I am 2024, I would be your council member. You could check on who represents you to find out if I represent you. Wanted to give a little highlight. I bring joy, health, and peace for the new year. And it's always a pleasure to be here. I wanted to start by sharing some wonderful news. Yesterday, the mayor signed a bill that I introduced called Intro 256. It's a legislation to represent a critical step in supporting public servants. When you move from one agency to another, your insurance doesn't lapse. So when I came into the council from being an educator, I left New York City Public Schools to become a council member. I had no medical insurance and there was a lapse. So I created a bill to make sure any other city employee that transfers between agencies do not lose their medical insurance. Yes, a lot of people did call. Thank you. Wanted to make sure that I want to remind everyone to stay vigilant about fire safety. We've been seeing a lot of fires in the district and the surrounding districts. There was a very terrible fire in the district recently. There was one in the Bronx where a lot of people got displaced along with children. Also, our office offer housing on Wednesdays and Thursdays. We have immigration on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So we wanted to make sure, and all the flyers are in the back. We also have NILAC van. That's a free legal services if you need to talk to an attorney. It's in the flyer. You just make an appointment. You sit privately and speak with an attorney. And if you're a non-for-profit, the discretionary funding is now open for you to apply. Our office is located at 930 Flatbush Avenue in the center of Times Square, Flatbush. So we're right there, accessible to all community members. We're open Thursday to Friday from 10 to 6. Fridays is remote, but we do answer the calls. So thank you all for having us. Happy New Year. And I'm here if you have any questions.
Thank you, council member. Any questions for the council member? Yes, one. Ms. Daniels?
Oh, 718-287-8762. And then depending on the time you call, I pick up too.
All right. Thank you, council member.
Thank you.
Ms. Goodrich, I skipped over community session. Anybody else? I know I said council member Lewis after that, so council member Lewis is gonna come up since I did call your name. And anybody else from community session, please do come up as well. Yes, so join that line after council member Lewis.
All right, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. My name is Alicia Goodrich, and I am the AVP of Government and Community Relations here at SUNY Downstate Health Sciences University. Good to see everyone. Thank you for being in this house. We are a public and state building, so our home is your home. And I'm happy to see all the elected officials. Good to see the board. Thank you, sister, for announcing that. You'll hear more about the hearing that's going to happen here next week. But while we are in the fight to remain open and keep services going here at Downstate, we also were granted a federal grant last year of $1.9 million to open a birthing center. So in that time, then give that a hand, because maternal health is a big issue. As being a mother and understanding some of the things that I went through, it is necessary that we get this. Over, I call it across the border, which is Atlantic Avenue, Assemblywoman Zinnerman was able to get funding for that. So now we're getting our own here in Crown Heights, but we need your help. And how that would work is we have this survey that we should fill out. It's 5 minutes. The more people we get, the better outcome. We have it in several languages. I will send it to the district manager and the ADM. We have it in Hebrew, Spanish, English, and Creole. I have the English one tonight because they got to tweak the Spanish and Creole because we want to make sure it's right. But your help is needed, and we need this by the end of the month just to make sure that the Department of Health gets what they need to move this forward. So while we fight to keep the services, we want to make sure we capitalize on having great maternal health options for our women. It is so very important. We are the head of households. Sorry, men. Where we go, you go. So if we are getting our services here, just act like our family medicine clinic that just moved over to the corner of Rogers and Empire Boulevard. We are keeping our services going. So please support and answer this 5-minute survey. There's a QR code. Send it out just like we send out. TikTok is going away. So let's move from TikTok and move to health information and sharing of the information. We need to go viral and make sure that we get this information out. Thank you, and good to see you, Chairman.
Good to see you as well. All right, Councilmember Lewis, followed by community session. No, it's the community session, but it's.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. I think this is the last week we can say that, right? Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Councilmember Farah Lewis, representing Council District 45. Good, step back. He's in on that. Chair Daly, good seeing you, and to the entire executive board and district manager Sharif, wishing everybody a blessed, fulfilled, and successful new year to you, your family, friends, and neighbors. I also wanted to just quickly acknowledge a recent violent incident that happened in the district at Tilden High School yesterday. You probably heard about a shooting, and Deputy Inspector Kozak mentioned it as well. I think she's still here. I want to thank God Squad, Pastor Galbraith, Pastor Straker, and Project Echo for responding and staying with principals and our scholars after school to make sure that everybody was safe and got home safe. And we had another shooting on Utica Avenue outside of my district, but we continue to see persistent issues of gun violence in our district, and this is something that we are trying to tackle. So I'm hoping by the next community board meeting, Mayor Adams will have some information to provide to us to talk about resources that we could give to nonprofit organizations within our confines to further support combating gun violence. But on a brighter note, I want to thank Brooklyn Public Library, who was here right there. I want to thank you in particular for your support. I know we were very annoying and a bit aggressive, but when we got news that our Clarendon Library would be pushed back a couple more months from reopening, myself and my team, and I want to thank Daniel that's here as well for an aggressive push to make sure that the library can open earlier. So we are happy to announce that it's going to open on January 27th, and we look forward to everybody coming to the grand opening. And this library is both educational and community space, so we look forward to providing MWBE workshops and a myriad of programs at Clarendon Library. So I want to thank BPL, DDC, and every other agency we annoyed throughout the holidays to make sure that they showed up to work to get this open by January. So that was our gift to everybody. So we're really happy to see that moving forward. Also quickly, just wanted to share some events we have coming up. We have 2 legal service workshops. We know that there's going to be a transition in leadership on the federal level on January 20th. So we want to prepare constituents in our district that are not documented for what's to come next. It's a conversation that comes up very often. So we're hosting 2 legal service clinics, and we have the information in the back. Discretionary funding workshops are available now as of next week.
So if you're interested, you have a nonprofit organization, or you just want to learn about the discretionary process, we have flyers in the back for workshops that are coming up. The workshops are going to be happening throughout January and up until February. The application deadline is February 19th. Do not apply on February 19th. The application takes about 2 to 3 days to complete. So if you try to apply on February 19th, you're going to run into a lot of trouble. So I want to encourage everyone, apply now. And take your time to make sure you get all the documents that you need. We also have a reparations workshop that we're hosting with Public Advocate Jamani Williams and Councilmember Williams as well at Brooklyn Public Library. The information is in the back. We hope that you could come by and join us for the conversation on reparations. This is a bill that myself, Public Advocate Williams, and Councilmember Williams got passed in the City Council last fall. So we hope that we could continue that conversation with you all and keep you aware of what we're working on with the Mayor's Office regarding reparations. 2025 is going to be a fantastic year for this community board. You will officially have your first recreation center ever. This was the hardest project for this district. But just know that the Shirley Chisholm Recreation Center is for you. It is your new home, and it will be available to you this summer. And it's going to be a fantastic year because there'll be an opportunity for you to get access to recreational services. The Bethany Senior Terraces, it's a affordable housing project that we got built here in the district. And I want to thank Senator Parker, the assembly members here as well, for supporting our efforts and my staff's efforts to make sure an application was provided to each senior in our district and the surrounding districts. So you're going to start seeing some of our older adults moving into their first affordable housing unit in our district. And we're very excited about this project and that people will now have access to housing. And we also have the community wellness workshops that we got $500,000 for at Flatbush Gardens, but it's open to the whole district, where we provide emotional health services, mental health services, yoga, acupuncture, name it, we have it, and it's available to you for free every weekend at Flatbush Gardens, at the Flatbush Gardens Community Center located at 1401 Brooklyn Avenue. And that is about it for our report. Oh, last thing, we got 2 bills that we introduced in the City Council. One is in regards to contracting. And I particularly want to thank Kwame and Mr. Lewis from Community Board 17, who stayed with us to make sure that contractors were supported in our district and MWBEs were supported in our district. And yes, and Ms. James, who came to all the meetings. I apologize, I didn't see you, I'm sorry, and Ms. Jane. So we want to thank all of you for your support, Chair Daly, who met with us, and Mayor Adams to make sure as much MWBEs as possible got access to contracts in our district for the new recreation center. So we look forward to working with you all in 2025. It's going to be a fantastic year. Enjoy the rest of your meeting. God bless.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the council member? Yes, Member Swaby. Council member, you have a question?
My apologies. I'm sorry. Happy New Year.
Turn the mic on.
Oh, you got to press the button. Daniel, can you help her, please?
Tap in.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
As someone in your district, I've noticed that a lot of businesses in our district and other districts related, especially those that are Black-owned, Caribbean, have been closing down.
Yes.
And I just wonder how, as we as a community, can support initiatives to make sure there's a lot of them stay or like support them. Because I've noticed a trend when I'm taking the bus that there's a lot of foreclosure signs.
Yes.
Things that have been open like 3 months ago, all of a sudden have closed down, and things that have been here for at least 10 years.
all of a sudden have closed down. So I was wondering if there's any ways that the community can be informed of ways that we can support them, especially this weird year.
Thank you for raising that concern. So we actually are scheduling a walkthrough with Commissioner Gross. She's the Commissioner for Small Business Services for the city. And this has been happening way before the pandemic because of the new bus lane going up Utica Avenue. I'm not sure which area you're speaking of in particular, but we noticed that on Nostrand Avenue, Utica Avenue, that we've had a surplus of small businesses closing down. So we are hosting a walkthrough with her. I don't know if you know, but we're also going to implement a bid on Utica Avenue. So we're currently engaging a steering committee. We've been working on it for the last couple of months with them. This is an opportunity for us to support small businesses. Having a bid brings resources in. But it is something that we're working with. We're also working with the landlords because we know that they are increasing rents. That's why they're leaving. They cannot afford the rents that they currently have. So let's say your lease was up in the last year or is about to come up. They somehow, some way price gouge our small businesses. So that is something that we're actively working on. We would love you to join us in our efforts. Daniel's there in the back. He has the blue tie on. Wave your hand. And we would love if you could join us in this effort. If you're passionate about small businesses, we would love to work with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All right, I know I did say that you would speak next. You could, come on, the assembly member would not mind. Come on up, the gentleman. Yes, I'm gonna, I normally, yeah. You go ahead. And then I'll let the assembly member speak after.
Yes, hi, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Kenneth Walker, and I'm the president and CEO of Changing Ways Association, Inc., not-for-profit organization. I'm fairly new now to attending the board meetings, but I attended one last September, and I met with the assistant district manager. I'm here to announce that we are opening a new concert band called Creative Community Band within this district. Currently, we are in the process of looking to recruit an associate concert band conductor to run the music program at this new location. If anyone is interested in the concert band conductor position, or knows someone within the community who may be interested in filling that position, I'll be giving out my business card after the meeting. And in the meantime, take care, and I look forward to seeing you all in the future again.
Couple questions.
Any questions? Sure.
I have a couple.
Sure.
One, what's the salary? Two, the location.
Well,
And three,
this
is it full-time or part-time?
Okay, this is a volunteer position, and I have an office over on Avenue I. But first, I'm looking to recruit a volunteer who's willing to run the music program. And then once I have the concert band who's willing to volunteer and run the program, then we'll see what the community board or what the city has a location where we can rehearse at. Because I understand that there's a new recreational center, the Shirley Chisholm, that's opening up over where Foster Park used to be. So that's what I'm looking at, and I'm looking for to recruit an associate concert band conductor. And I'll be giving out my business card at the end of the meeting if anyone is interested or knows, because this is a great opportunity to develop your music skills as a music conductor.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Westcott.
Any questions? No, I'm a not-for-profit
The
organization.
age of the band.
How old do you have to be to what, to join the, it depends on, if they're minors, then they may need to have their parents' consent. But if they're adults, then they could come in and sign in and register on their own.
All right, thank you. Assemblymember Monique Chandler Watermans. Wait, hold on, I'm only calling her up because she's the elected official. Community session, we're just going back to community session first. So anybody from the community session, please line up, followed by the legislative session.
All right. Happy New Year. Thank you everyone for your birthday wishes. Thank you to the chair. Thank you to the community board. Thank you to district manager. Oh, can you hear me? And all the members. Is that better? I thank you to my amazing team. I have Dalton Robinson, who been around for 25 years as a district manager in Assembly District 58, and I have some task force members in the House. So I just want to give a couple of updates. As you know, we're in Albany. Your senators and your assembly members from, let me move back a little bit, from January to June. We started on January 8th. If you have any legislation that you would like to introduce, please speak to us. Call us 718-385-3336. Also, we had the State of the State by Governor Hochul. We will be talking about those priorities and what does that mean for us based on those priorities that was outlined yesterday by the governor. Our office, and as a member of the New York State Black, Puerto Rican, Hispanic, Asian Caucus, we are prioritizing and supporting the immediate closure of Marcy Correctional Facility and holding all correctional officers accountable, citing the murder of Robert Brooks and a history of brutality at these institutions and many like it. So this is systematic culture of abuse. As legislators, when we do speak on behalf of our constituents and the loved ones, they are getting retaliated against. And this is one that was caught on camera. So we are looking for changes and closure in that. We do understand that when someone do commit a crime, they do the time, but they should not be brutalized and murdered while they should be in these institutions. So we do have a bill that was actually introduced by my predecessor, Ambassador Nick Perry, Carriel's Law. It's a duty to intervene as officers if someone is being aggressive in their role as an officer. And if you do not, then you are held accountable as well. We're going to expand that to cover correctional officers and those in law enforcement. We unfortunately had about 3 shootings so far in this district. January 1st, we had a mass shooting of 10 or more youth being shot connected in Queens, but connected back to Brooklyn, and over 10 precincts affected. As a co-chair of the Anti-Gun Violence Subcommittee in the caucus, we called with the Office of Gun Violence Prevention in the state, we call a city, state, and federal call, connecting legislators to impacted precincts and activation on the ground with career violence crisis management groups. We're gonna continue those conversations to make sure that those victims are supported. Thank God no one was murdered. As you may, and also we had a shooting, a murder on Utica and Church Avenue. Our anti-violence groups activated with that as well. Unfortunately, a 25-year-old was killed. There's still investigation. We have our groups, Project Echo, God Squad, East Flatbush Village Inc. on the ground. Myself, I also responded just to make sure the community members got support. And unfortunately, yesterday at 3 o'clock at Tilden campus, there was a shooting. Thank God no one was hit, but this was happening during dismissal. So we know we have an issue with gun violence, and we're doing all we can to mitigate that with resources and support on the state level. I did talk about the mass shooting bill we introduced. If 4 more being murdered or injured, I require and activate federal dollars to help that particular area. We are pushing this as a priority for this year with our task force. And we also are, and I don't know if you're aware, the Office of White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention in this new administration will no longer exist. On the state level, myself and Zona Omari has put in a bill to preserve the intent of the New York State Office of Gun Violence, that no matter who is in charge, that office will stay intact and be able to support our groups on the ground. We also
have a Vital Voice meeting that on January 18th. It's going to be at PS 398. We're going to have, it's right there by Rutland Plaza, Rutland Road and 93rd. IRS, the Department of IRS will be there. Department of Finance will be there to help homeowners and tenants and businesses with their taxes. So please come at 1 p.m. And I want to thank you all for reelecting me. I'm having a thank you swearing in, similar to what Ambassador Perry used to do. On February 1st, it will take place at Holy Family, doors open at 5:30 in Canarsie. We have a free legal clinic that's going to help with immigration, tenants, landlord on January 3rd at 1583 Albany Avenue. The flyers in the back. We got job training as well, job fairs coming up on January 23rd from 10 to 2. And also we have resume building. So I know my time has been spent. Thank you so much for allowing me this time. And I appreciate everyone listening. I'm your New York State Assembly member, Monique Chandler Waterman. I'm glad I could be here tonight. We do have 2 meetings on the same night, so a lot of electeds have to run back and forth. And also sometimes I may not be here because I'll be in Albany, but you'll always have Dalton representing. Any questions I'm taking, or that's it?
All right, are there any questions for the State Assembly member? Go ahead, First Vice Chair.
No?
Go ahead.
Assembly Member Monique Chandler Waterman. On behalf of Community Board 17, I'd like to extend birthday wishes, if it's belated, to you. Wishing you all the best for the new year and lots of love and everything. You guys can just give a hand, a round of applause or something. Thank you. It was yesterday, right?
Yes, yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Tthank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, we're going back to community session. Community session. Going once. Community. Go ahead.
Good evening, Community Board 17. My name is Oma Holloway. I am the founder and chief strategist for Adina Consulting Group. I am very excited that this has been announced a couple of times today, but I would just like to emphasize the importance of the community to come out on January 22nd for the first public hearing. This will be the first of 3 public hearings about how to allocate capital investment up to $750 million to SUNY Downstate. We want to hear from you. The meeting will be held at 6 o'clock. It will be here. If there are flyers in the back, you can register by saying if you would like to say a few words, testimony to give your ideas on how you would like to see that money allocated. You can also write a statement if you cannot attend. There will be 2 other public hearings. One will be February 27th, another one on March 13th. So we encourage you to come out. Please spread the word. It will be on social media, and it will also be, please pass the flyers and their QR codes or the link. We would love to hear from you on January 22nd at 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you. Legislative. I did see, where's Portia? I just went and saw Portia earlier. All right.
Right here.
Huh?
I'm right here.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Portia Edwards. I'm the district director for State Senators Eleanor Murray.
Did you hear me asking for you?
Sorry?
You hear me asking for you?
I was standing right there.
Is
You
it,
didn't see me. Yeah, like I was saying, I'm the district director for State Senators Eleanor Murray's office. Just a few announcements. Our office is located at 1077 Nostrand Avenue. Our contact is 718-284-4700. You can always email me as well at pedwards@nysenate.gov. We have a couple of events happening in the next couple of weeks. One, the February event will happen before the next meeting, so I'm gonna just announce it today. Next week, Thursday, we're doing bookkeeping cleanup event for self-employed filers. I'll show you guys the flyer here. You guys can see it, right? Okay, great. There's also some flyers in the back. This is a virtual event, and it's super important for our self-employed filers to know how to manage their books. That is a problem that we've seen in the past, and so we are working with Grow Brooklyn to be able to, for free, help self-employed filers sort their books and clean up their books so that they can do their taxes. Right after that, in February, on February 11th, we're going to be doing a tax filing session. So those self-employed filers will be able to file their taxes for free with Grow Brooklyn on February 11th. That is going to be in person, and that's going to be at Major Owens from 6 to 8 p.m. So if you know anyone who would benefit from that, please reach out to our office. There is a registration link on the flyer. I will also share with the district manager to be able to put on the website. A couple of things that are in the back. We have a "This House is Not for Sign" sale. We've had these signs in our office for a good couple of years now. You do know that deed theft is a really big issue, and this is where this sign has come from. We were able to create a sign through our office and through the state for homeowners to be able to put into their windows to, ward off some of the solicitations. Yes, sir?
Yeah.
Oh, you can have it. Some of the solicitations that you're getting from real estate agencies and predatory lending people. So those things are in the back as well. We do have our senior resource guide that is in the back. It is not just for seniors. When we created it, we had our seniors in mind. But if you do go through the book, it is a comprehensive list of resources for everyone to be able to take advantage of. So please, if you don't have one, you can find one in the back. If there's not any in the back, you can also come to our office and we can provide those things for you as well. Just as a point of reference, I did want to just comment on something that the chair mentioned earlier. I think it is absolutely disrespectful to call elected officials out on this platform in the manner of saying to us we need to give more information about legislation when we do that, right? When we come here, when the representatives like myself and all of the other elected representatives are here, we give our legislative updates. We talk about the bills that we're passing. We talk about those things. However, most people don't get that information because it wasn't until November of last year that we actually were speaking to a room of people who were able to listen. And so while I'm grateful that that change has happened, I don't think that it's okay or respectful to then call us out and say, we're not doing that job. And so I think that moving forward, the relationship can be a lot better. And in terms of coming to events, you can't send me information about an event on the day of the event and then expect someone to show up. That's not how calendars work. And so I would love to continue to be a great partner to the board. I have been here, I have been coming here. I sit through the shenanigans every single month. I sit until 10:45 at night to be able to give my updates so that you guys know what's going on with the office. Like Assemblywoman Waterman said, session started on January 8th. The senator is now the new chair of the Codes Committee, which is absolutely amazing. And we have been working in the field of criminal justice since we got in office in 2019, and he is now the chair of the Codes Committee, something that we are working on right now. We passed a lot of discovery bills in 2019, and so we are looking to update some of our discovery bills within this coming session. That is all for me. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out now, or you guys can reach me in the back. I have a QR code. You guys can get my information as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Question. It could be for you or any of the electeds when they come up to speak. I have a friend who, she's in 2 of my groups, and every other conversation has to do with deed theft. Is there anything that's happening within the city council or in your case, the state senate office? That's why I said any of the electeds can give a response. That's gonna, around deed theft.
Sure. So there, if you guys can see this, there is a flyer in the back that I did put back there. There is a deed theft flyer back there. Any information that you're looking for, you can you can find it here. You can also reach out to our office or your local elected offices. So deed theft is a huge thing that is happening. We passed a bill and it was signed last year quantifying deed theft as a theft. It was never that way. Thank you to Senator Murray for being on top of that and making sure that we were able to qualify deed theft as an actual illegal act. And so on the back of this flyer, there's some information of who you can reach out to. You can always reach out to our office. Again, our number is 718-284-4700. On larger cases, on larger scales, you can also reach out to the AG's office, but the district attorney's office also has and I'm not sure if they are here today, but the district attorney's office also has jurisdiction over deed theft, and they are doing some work within the office to be able to help people who have been going through this. There is a statute of limitation with it, and so feel free to reach out to our office. Of course, I can't talk individually with you here, but you can always reach out to our office and we can assist.
All right, thank you. I'm actually texting her now. Catherine?
Good evening, Happy New Year. I'm Catherine from the Brooklyn Borough President's Office in the Community Affairs. Some of our ongoing things, just a reminder, I know a lot of you may know that the community board applications for 2025 are live until February 14th. All NYC residents 16 years or older who live, work, or have significant interests in the community can serve on the community board. FY26 capital allocations are now also open. BP Reynoso's financial year capital funding applications are now open. Every year, the borough president funds a wide variety of projects that make our borough a better home for Brooklynites. City agencies, nonprofits, cultural institutions, and public schools are eligible. On Wednesday, January 22nd, the borough president's team is hosting an event with the DOB to help people resolve their DOB summons via a one-on-one consultation. This event is from 1 p.m. until 7 p.m. at Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation. Also, starting January 13th, which was yesterday, I believe, until May 12th, you can speak with a constituent affairs service from the BP's office in person at the Cortelyou Branch Library every other Monday, Staff will be available to help from 10 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. Also, Van Halen, on Friday, January 21st, the Taxi Limousine Commission and BP Reynoso are hosting an event for taxi and limousine drivers called Van Halen at Borough Hall. Services will be available to help TLC drivers from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. And also on Tuesday, February 20th, the NYC Department of Finance and BP Reynoso are hosting a session to help on how to lower your property taxes at Borough Hall. And this session will be held from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And all of those are flyers in the back if you need.
Thank you. Next.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ayana Nahari Williams. I'm the Chief of Staff for Councilmember Darlene Mealy of the 41st District. Just a few announcements. I'll keep it brief. Our Community Advisory Board meeting is held at the last weekend of every month, traditionally Saturday, sometimes on a Sunday. This month is going to be Saturday, January 25th at 11 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. It's going to take place at our district office, which is at 400 Rockaway Avenue between Pickens and East New York. The phone number to the office is 718-953-3097. At this particular meeting, we will have HPD and the Department of Sanitation present to make presentations so they can answer questions about heat, hot water, repairs, and sanitation is going to talk about the new laws as far as trash containers go. Also on Mondays, we have 2 free immigration lawyers that come to our office to assist people with their immigration needs. On Tuesdays, we have a housing specialist who comes in to help people with issues that they're having in their apartments, like repairs or problems with the withholding services or whatever it is that you need as far as that goes. Also, every second and fourth Wednesday, we have a representative come in to show people how to use and navigate the Housing Connect system. Thank you.
Thank you. By the way, somebody called me today. I'm getting a lot of phone calls this week, right? One of them is there anything that you know about relief for the trash bins? Because, yeah, they called me and asked me. Well, the exact words were, the city expects for us to do this new thing and we have to pay for the trash bins. Those are she used other colorful words, but I'm going to summarize it as that.
We did pose this question to the Department of Sanitation because we do not believe that everyone can afford to do that. That's number one. There's a lot of constituencies that are seniors on fixed incomes, and that could be extra money out of their budget that they just don't have. So they said there's something in the works, don't know what that something is. So hopefully they'll start to announce it soon, but we did pose that question to sanitation.
Thank you. Let them know the constituents are asking.
I definitely will. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Any other questions? Okay.
Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Sevier from the Office of the Public Advocate. Chair, to your point, I know at the onset that they were making it more feasible and like offered early before the law came into effect, like trying to get folks to get free access to the trash cans. I don't know if they're trying to do something like that again, because I feel folks are taking it more seriously because now that the law has come into effect, folks will start receiving fines. So I think now folks are perking up like, oh, this is real. So that is something that we'd also reached out to the admin about whether or not that's something they'd come back to. But I think one of the council members might know a little bit better than that. But that's to that point, to see whether it would bring back the option to do it free for a period of time. Because I know they had that at the earlier portion before it became into effect. So you can tell the constituent that the local council member would be the best person to reach out to.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, like Councilmember Lewis said, this is the last time we can say Happy New Year, so I'll say that. Just very briefly, I just want to note again that it is heat season, and in particular next week, I think it's, right now it's being pushed into the news as well a lot, but I think that we're gonna have like freezing temperatures on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I believe, like freezing rain on Sunday night. I'm not sure as much that everyone is prepared, but again, it's coming at the same time as heat season. It is coming at the same time as the governor's kind of new initiative of like having officers on the train, and I know that's gonna force more folks onto the streets, and that is going to be something that's of grave concern to our New Yorkers who are going to be on the sidewalks. So just everyone, please be very mindful. So if you have like outdoor activities and events that you're planning on attending next week, you should be really mindful of whether or not they're still going to be going on. And I know that the city is thinking of giving guidance of folks who don't necessarily need to leave their home, very similar to when we're in a heat wave, to actually stay home. So folks will want to get ahead of that. I also want to thank Councilmember Lewis's office for working really diligently to get the Clarendon Road Library branch open over there on Nostrand and Farragut, because that's been closed for a number of years. And in our discussions with the Brooklyn Public Library Central, they did mention that, yeah, it was the council members' push that really, really helped them do that. So I know that's something that the community has really sorely been lacking. And I know for myself as growing up in East Flatbush, one of the only places that your parents might let you go alone would be after school, would be some sort of after school program or the local library. So not having it in our community, I'm sure contributes greatly to some of our crime numbers. And not lastly, but I also wanted to mention that the Public Advocate's Office released a report about something that's kind of hampers to a lot of folks about the e-bikes and the e-bike batteries. It's a paper called Stopping the Blaze, and it's issues that's related to the e-bike batteries that you see a lot of the delivery drivers and deliveristas using that have been caught with catching on fire, and the ways that they can properly store those vehicles and ways that they can be mindful. And I would also like to plug the event that's happening on January 22nd at the Brooklyn Public Library Center for History. That is again with the council members Williams, Councilmember Lewis, and also the public advocate. And I think that is really it, but I also do want to namely say that our annual landlord watch list is coming out, and it usually talks about the top landlords who are not serving the people who live in their community. And unfortunately, we often have a lot of members of who own buildings in the Flatbush community to continuously be top those lists along with NYCHA. So I will be in the back with the QR code and for anyone who has any particular questions. With that, be safe and be well.
Thank you. Are there any other legislative, there's one online, I think from?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. State your name.
My name is David Schaefer. I'm here representing Senator Prasad. I don't know if you can see me. Are you able to see me? Or just here? Okay, so I did want to make a couple of announcements on upcoming events we have. We are partnering with Assemblywoman Monique Chandler Waterman and Councilmember Chris Banks for a professional development seminar job fair. And that's going to be happening January 23rd from the hours of 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 650 Remsen Avenue, Grace Deliverance Tabernacle. So that's a very exciting opportunity. We're also partnering on an event which is a free legal clinic, and that's with the Metropolitan Black Bar Association and the Brooklyn Bar Association, where there will be services for landlord and tenant, one-on-one consultations with volunteer attorneys for estate planning, criminal issues, immigration, and a host of other issues. We are partnering with, again, with Monique Chandler Waterman, this time with Mercedes Narcisse, Farrah Lewis, and Frank Sedio on that event, which will be happening on January 30th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We have several events in our office, which is in Canarsie, and those are free electronics recycling coming up this Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. We have NILAG free legal services in the office on January 21st. That is from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We have Oath at our office Wednesday, January 29th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The staff from Oath is there to answer questions and help understand summonses and how to deal with those summonses. And then we'll also be hosting a senior Medicare webinar talk, which will be happening on January 30th online. And that's from 6 to 7 p.m. So we have a lot going on, and we welcome all of our community members to show up and take advantage of all of the free community events we do. You can reach our office at 718-649-7653. And we also have a very strong community constituent services office. So if you have any issues with state or city agencies, if you have quality of life issues, we welcome you to give our office a call so we can help you solve those. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are there any other elected officials online or in person?
Yes, Rachel, I'm Rachel O'Neill.
Rachel O'Neill, go ahead.
Yes, I'm Rachel O'Neill with Congresswoman Yvette Clarke's office. Good evening, everyone. Our events are still in process of being.
Office, Rachel?
Congresswoman Yvette Clarke.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me see if I can raise my volume up some more. Okay, hope you can hear me a little bit better. Congresswoman Yvette Clarke's office, and we have a lot of events that are upcoming, but we're still in the process of planning. But I did want to let you all know that Congresswoman has been selected to be chairwoman of the Congressional Black Caucus, so that's a plus. Also, she's a ranking member of the Energy and Commerce Oversight and Investigation Committee this term out. We also have a new Director of Outreach and Community Engagement. Her name is Debbie Medina, and her email address is Debbie, DEBBIE, Medina, MEDINA, @mail.house.gov. Any events that you all are doing that you possibly would like to collaborate on, just email Debbie. Also, you can email me. And again, I'm Rachel O'Neill. My email is RACHEL.NEIL@mail.house.gov. I'm the Director of Constituent Services. So if you also have any constituents with issues with a federal agency, please feel free to reach out to me. The number to our office is 718-287-1142. I hope you guys got all that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Hello?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
yes, we can. Or
Oh,
are
good
you on the
night,
phone?
everyone.
Is
I'm
that you on the
representing.
phone?
Yes, I'm on the phone. I'm on
Go
the
ahead.
phone. I'm a representative of the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office. My name is Karen Chambers, and I bring you greetings from Eric Gonzalez, who's the the District Attorney. I want to wish everybody a prosperous 2025. And if anybody have any issues or concerns, please give me a call. My phone number is 718-250-4877. In our office, we have one initiative that's going on right now. Next Wednesday, January the 22nd, we are celebrating the Lunar New Year, and it's going to be at New York City College. The address is 285 J Street. It's open to the public. The time is from 6 to 8. And come out and see what our office has to offer. And this is part that we give back to the community. So come and enjoy this celebration with us. Good night and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chambers. All right. Are there any other elected officials or representatives? I'd see none. We'll quickly do roll call. Normally, I would let the second vice chair do it, but I think I want to learn people's names and faces a little bit better than I have done. So I'm going to do it this month. Our secretary texted me and said that he is not going to be able to make it today. So Tiffany, Pamela Frey? Tiffany Anderson? Okay, thought so. David Boats, I'm sorry. Burlette Antoine. Hassan Bakruddin. Celia Belen. David Boatswain. Tiffany, I have been trying to reach you for a little bit. If you can able to stay back a little bit, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Venencia Colon. Where? Okay, thank you. Asha Cunningham. Roger Daly, present. Arminia Daniels. A little louder, Ms. Daniels. Thank you. Natasha Duncan. Natasha Duncan. LaShawn Freeman. Charles Galberth. Rose Graham. Rose Graham. Rose Graham. Vice President, does anybody know if she step out into the bathroom? Oh, she's right there. Rose Graham. Gail Granson excused. Ronald Green. Ronald Green. Michael Hill. Whitney Humphrey. Whitney Humphrey. Julia James. Karen Jason. Kevin Jason. Kevin Jason. Doris Jones. Doris Jones. Cole Julius. Osna Lewis. Tricia Lewison. Edith Mark. Where are we? Edith? Thank you. Brandon Mutherin. Brandon Mutherin. Donna McLean Grant. Donna McLean Grant. Jabril Morris excused. Fatima Mohammed. Khadija Alubo. Montserrat Oni. Kadiatu Drongo. Drago. Okay, that's an O, okay. June Prasad. Deborah Pointer. Deborah Pointer, thank you. Carl Renault. Aaron Roth. Bernadette Selby. Bernadette Selby. Kimberly Shelley. Antoinette Smart. Tyrone Stearns. Tyrone Stearns.
Yes, I'm on Zoom.
You're absent if not present in person. Kamara Swaby. Simone Sylvester. Heslot Toursum. Marguerite Viante. Kenrick Westcott. Melanie Wilkinson excused. Just double checking, okay. And Ivor Wood. All right, so does somebody not hear their name? Oh, Teresa, sorry. Ms. Burton. Oh, let's go back. Dan McCabe. Who else? Anyone not hear their name? All right, I just want to address, first of all, before I address anything, I want to acknowledge one of our former board members who are here today. I know I did acknowledge one from last month, that was a couple of months ago, that was here. I want to acknowledge our former board member as well, Mr. George Tate. All right, I want to address two things of importance. And it's very important that we understand this point. We're all nominated, appointed on the board to vote on issues that affect the board. When we don't meet quorum, it reflects on your attendance. So if you come to a meeting and there's supposed to be a vote on the floor and you get up and you walk out, you're failing to adhere to the duties in which you are appointed. On any vote, any member is to vote yes, no, or abstain. The Bar President's Office does look at abstentions. They prefer that you vote yes or no. But again, it is your right to vote abstain because, again, an abstention affects the vote. So I just want to be clear for every member who gets up because they might be irritated with a vote or whatever the case is, that don't want to vote on the issue. You have the right to vote yes, you have the right to vote no, but you are abstain, but you don't have the right to walk out. Because then that vote might come up in the subsequent meeting, which you might not like. Because at the previous meeting, the matter was dealt unfinished. Okay, I just want to say that because I saw that happening, the 2 votes that happened on the issue regarding 1 board member, right? That we had quorum both nights and quorum stopped because the board members chose to walk out to make sure that quorum was not met. It is your diligence to be here for a vote. Whether it's a liquor license, whether it's a member, whatever it is. Okay, you dropped something, Ms. Graham. All right, with that being said, okay, are there any matters before the House? Unfinished business. Let me up. I think I'm skipping the agenda. Okay, adoptions in a minute. Last month, yes. I'm sorry. Can you stand at the mic so we can hear you, please? Stand at the mic, state your name, please. Yeah, you got to turn it on. It's in the front, on the side. Somebody turn it on for her. Is on the, just pull it out. Yeah, just turn it on, the button right there. Again, I think you have to go down. That one is working. While she's saying that, there was a conversation going on last month about the minutes. We have not scheduled it. We were supposed to schedule a meeting with the secretary, the first vice chair, myself, and the district manager about those minutes and how that's supposed to be done. We did get a notification back from the law office of New York City, which states that that needs to be worked out between the 4 of us. I know the secretary did get up last month and took some responsibility for the minutes. And the last conversation we had, if I'm correct, did we meet? Or we just had a conversation? We met, right? So the last conversation was that both parties would take care of the minutes, both from the board office and the secretary, to get the minutes in so that the community can get the minutes, because the minutes are very important and we're now 4 months behind. Your special order of business.
Trisha Lewison, bylaws. I'm moving to make a motion for us to vote on unfinished business.
What is, okay, we are, unfinished business is next on the agenda, so we do not need to make a special motion. What is unfinished business would you like to address?
To vote on the potential removal of Treasurer James.
To vote on the, okay, it does not require a second because it was unfinished business from 2 months The vote is to, there was supposed to be a vote on the floor for the removal of James. Is there anything that you want to add or subtract from the motion?
Not at this time.
Not at this time. Are there any comments to the motion?
May we have the reasons why Julia James has to be removed from the board, please? Thank you.
There has been I don't know if I want to answer that. I think I want to stay. There has been a number of interferences or conversations done by Ms. James, right? Done by Ms. James, and that the board at that point felt that she needed to be removed.
Chair
Some
Hill.
members of the board, by the way, some members of the board.
Chair Hill, I do want to add some comments or context to this. I've been on the board for about 2 years now. And as long as I've been a member of this board, I've observed Chair James be a continuous disruption to almost all the meetings. And I have definitely felt that it's impeded the ability for the board to be effective in doing its job for the community. And I have observed Chair James be admonished for this behavior that she's displayed numerous times, and she has not, in my opinion, shown any concern or any interest in changing or altering her behavior. In fact, she's been emboldened, and she has continued to be a constant issue for us to be able to be effective in our work. And it has definitely created a hostile environment for us to be able to do what we need to do as a board. That's all I have to say.
I'd like to add something.
Wait, Miss Bellin. Wait, hold on, Miss Bellin. You asked a question. He's answering. It's only fair that you asked. And
I can answer with examples.
Yeah.
Walking out post-vote when we have reached quorum, that wastes everyone's time. We are here volunteering for the community. We're not here for egos. We are not here to go back and forth and listen to bickering every single meeting. I've only been on I echo Mr. Hill's statements. I've only been on the board for about 2 years, and it's time consuming. There are people that have lots of things to do. They have busy lives. People have health issues. People have families to take care of. This is a waste of time to listen to back and forth that has nothing to do with the community and is not helping advance the community. We don't have time for it.
all right. We're only going to take 2 more responses. And by the way, when you stand, please stand and state whether you're in support or opposed to the vote, right? Go ahead.
Simone Sylvester, board member. I find it odd that Chair Hill uses the word concern.
I'm sorry?
Odd that Mr.
Are you rising, wait, are you rising in support or opposed to?
Because I find that for the past 2 years, Ms. James has known detailed information and she's corrected certain board members. I don't find that to be a destruction. Absolutely not. And if you're not able to give detailed information as to why this motion should be made, I'm not sure why it's even being made. If you're not given detailed reasons as to why it should leave the board, I'm not sure why we should even have a vote.
So the things that I can and cannot answer, and I did answer, Mr. Hill mentioned a few of those things, which has to do with misconduct interfering in board business, constant reminder to not continue with certain conversations. And they did seem to persist, making statements that are not necessarily true to the board, as i.e. tonight with the statement about the treasurer's report, which is not true.
So, I mean, would you say it's just more of a?
But wait, hold on 1 second, Ms. Sylvester. I don't want to turn it into, you asked a question and I'm answering it, and you did speak in a post. There are things I can and cannot say.
So, I mean, would you say it's just a matter of a disagreement with Ms. James? And
I wouldn't say it comes to that. Right? But again, remember what I told you. You have the right to vote yes, no, or abstain. Okay? You do have that right. All right. I'm only going to take.
Out of respect, if we're going to be voting to remove anybody from this board because of any reasons, we should have it in writing. Give us all the reasons what this person has done to deserve to be asked to be removed from the board. I want to see it in writing. Give me all the incidences, all the things Ms. James has done that is incorrect, where she has disrespected anybody. If she's asked for clarifications on certain things, why is she asking for the clarifications? You do not just decide to remove somebody from the board because you do not agree that they keep asking questions. She has the right to ask questions. I have the right to ask questions. Anybody here that's a member of the board, if you're not sure about something, you're not clear, you need clarity, you have the right to ask. Why are people angry or upset that a particular member of the board is constantly asking questions? She has the right to do that. So I disagree with this. I disagree with it. You said you only been here for 2 years. How many years has Ms. James been on the board? How many years has she been on the board? I mean, this is not right. This is just not right. And the problem with this board is because of the factions. This one supporting this one, that one supporting that one. It should look like this one, abstain, don't vote, and all this nonsense. When I was opening my restaurant, I went for hell with some of these people on this board because they had all kinds of things to say. Swed was opened, Swed did good, Swed is closed right now because of whatever issues. So from the time I've been on this board, I've been very silent. I've just been observing a lot of things. But this is a horrible board because of all the factions, and that's not supposed to be.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, do I have the floor now?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Over the years I've been on the board, there were many times for months would go by and I would not say a single word. I used to have to say to myself, I need to speak up, just to speak, okay? Because I don't need to be heard. But what I will not do is to tolerate misinformation and lies. So just a while ago, when I spoke earlier, I said, I think there needs to be transparency, right? I didn't say the bylaw says I have to report every month, but here you have the chairperson saying I lied, when all I simply said in the interest of transparency, I didn't want to wait until May to review the financial information. Right? I have the right as a treasurer to do so, but here again, it's being distorted. The reason why there is so many issues here is because of misinformation. I sit here and I just listen to lies, and I will not allow anyone to lie in my presence, because when somebody lies, it means they're taking me for a fool. And I cannot tell you the number of times we've been taken for a fool. For example, a very simple thing. I've been on the board longer than I want to even admit, because it will tell people my age, you can file it anyway, right? But here it is. It was always the responsibility of the board staff to do the minutes. Always the responsibility. And somehow it's become twisted and turned. That's what I'm talking about, where misinformation is being presented to the new board members who do not need better. There is a vendetta against me because I don't go along with anything that is wrong. So when they had a meeting, invited me to a meeting to meet a developer, right? So he could bribe me to be able to approve a 7-story building on Linden Boulevard. I said no, and I made it clear. From that time, there's been a concerted effort to get me off the board so that I will not be able to speak up. I do not believe in people giving misinformation. We are here, we should be here for one specific purpose, to serve the community. And if people who don't live in this community don't care about it, I care about it because I live here, unlike the chair who does not live in the community. So don't get me wrong, you don't have to live here. But when you're not living here and you don't care, that's a major issue. But one more thing, the bylaw says a board member can only be removed for cause, not because you don't like the person, not because the person doesn't speak up. And there has to be cause, and cause is a legal definition. There was a complaint made. I harassed the district manager. She had the right. The borough hall said, it's fine, you can go ahead to court. She couldn't do it because I had a well-documented defense. All the things that I have nothing against the district manager. If I saw her anything, I would do anything.
You have 1 minute, Ms.
If I saw her in distress today, I would stop right there and do it. I have nothing personal. But when the community is not being served, when we tell people to call 311, when we could be having district cabinet meetings, I laugh sometimes, not laugh. Here it is, the sanitation chair is struggling in his work. He doesn't have to be struggling. The district manager is empowered to call a district service meeting where the head of the Bureau of Sanitation has to sit down and listen to him. But that opportunity has never been presented because we never have a district service cabinet meeting.
30 seconds.
And why you're struggling, because the district I'm simply saying my goal here is to serve the community, and I will not tolerate all the lies and the misstatements I've been hearing all along. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you for that comment. Couple of things that I want to make sure that I don't want anybody to leave here with this notion. Miss James, Miss Prasad, Mr. Lewis, Mr. Afray, Miss Frazier were all called into the same meeting regarding a developer looking for variance to build up on Linden. If anybody knows the district, on Linden and Albany. There was no demand for any payment in support of that building. Mr. Afray, Mr. Lewis, Ms. Prasad, and Ms. Frazier can all attest to that. So to make the statement that we tried to remove you from the board because you voted against it, what happened in the meeting was you chose not to listen to what the person was saying. Subsequent to that, the developer only wanted to make money. He wanted to build something that would provide service to the community and make him money. That was the bottom line, right? If that's the question, and that has never come back up in any other conversation. So I don't want the board to hear this and hear something different. If Mr. Frey is right there, he could speak to that meeting. Ms. Prasad is right there. Can speak to that meeting. So no faulty information.
Is there a motion on the floor?
Yes, there is.
Is it appropriate for this motion to be discussed on a recorded session that is being streamed on Zoom without closing?
Yes, it can.
Thank
you. Mr. Hill, you spoke already. We're gonna, first Vice Chair Prasad, then Member Dahlberg, and then we'll come back to you.
So I was outside, went to use the restroom, and I heard my name. About the meeting you're talking about, Chair Daly, that was not protocol. When anyone is coming before the board for a variance, they go before the committee. You called a special meeting with a selective group of people. That is not protocol.
Was there any, wait, I'm sorry. Wait, I'm sorry. Was there any quid pro quo that for anybody at that meeting to exchange money?
That's not the point, Chair Daley.
And I understand that.
It was not protocol. All variance has to go before the committee, and then the committee comes to with a recommendation before the board.
I
Do
agree.
not do
That's not the question I
special
asked.
meeting. I think a lot of people got off the call. I know Ms. James did because she said she cannot be part of this type of special meeting, which was totally not professional and not the right thing to do.
I agree with all of that. That's not what I didn't disagree. Once you said the statement was made that it was protocol to go to the committee, right? There was no argument back and forth between going to the committee. What Ms. James stated was based upon that meeting, there was a concerted effort to remove her from the board. To your knowledge, was there anything stated in that meeting then or subsequent to that that required for her to be removed from the board? To your knowledge? It's a yes, no question.
Well, I don't even know what the question is. I mean.
Ms. James stated that upon that meeting.
Chair
And I-
Daley, this is going on
Okay,
and on. It's
so
totally.
just leave it out. I don't want to answer.
No,
is it-
because I don't know what you're saying. I'm,
Ms.
it's always
James,
good when you
Ms.
think so you don't know
Prasad,
what it is.
Okay, we're not going to go through the debate. The only question I ask is, she stated that after that meeting, there was a quid pro quo to get her, not her words, off the board. That's all I asked. Member Goldberg.
I think this is more of a clarifying question as well as comment. I am grateful and thankful to be able to serve on this community board that represents not only this community, but also my congregation and my family. But I have to say, I am very discouraged and disappointed at what's been taking place. I'm discouraged in several senses. I think that our community is facing various challenges internally as well as externally. Even the facility that we're in is under threat of being lost. We recognize the various concerns that are present with us. And I feel as though a good amount for the last 3 meetings has been occupied with these matters. As a result, I'm not just speaking for myself, but I believe I've also communicated with other board members who express frustration where we're trying to serve our community and neighborhood, but yet we have not seen any forward progress concerning this. I'm asking, regardless of whatever the board decides to do tonight or how we're moving forward, that at this point, we cease from any accusations on all sides. That we trust whatever process needs to go through and go forward, but we can't have it where we're talking about one another in slanderous ways, whichever way it's going on, whichever side it's going, and we're trying to move our community forward. Be honest with you, respectfully, people are laughing at us, y'all. They're making fun of us as a community board. They're not even considering, I'm in some meetings where they're not even considering us because they know the dysfunction. I'm talking to elected officials who don't even want to come to our board meetings because of the condition and situation that's taking place. I respect the leadership here. I respect everyone here. I just believe we need to get engaged and once again on one accord to be able to move this community forward. We've got big issues, big challenges that are present, not far off, but are present right now that I believe we have to address and go forward. And so whichever process we have to work through to get this done, it needs to be done. But if not, I'm really questioning what is our role here as a community board. And I'm sorry, but respectfully, I don't think we can go back and forth with these type of meetings again as we go forward. Thank you.
Somebody has to call the question for us to stop the debate. It's now 9. We'll have an automatic stop at 9:35. But somebody has to call the question in front of the House so that we could stop the debate and go to a vote. Somebody, Mike, has to do that.
I'd like to stop the debate, but I'd also like to make.
No, you can't do both. So you said you're going to stop the debate.
I'll make a statement, then somebody else can stop the debate.
Go ahead.
I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned that a meeting was held clandestinely about a variance, when that should be brought to the full board. There shouldn't be meetings like that. So I hope that we don't have meetings like that going forward.
So I really want to address that meeting because it's the purpose of that meeting. I'm sorry. the purpose of the meeting was not for a variance. The purpose of the meeting was to discuss what could have been done with the property. That was the purpose. Mr. Frey, you on the floor. I'm going to give you the moment to say something because you're at that meeting. Now, because I wanted to clarify.
And he said,
No, but it's, no, I understand that. No, wait. I understand what you're saying. I'm going to give Mr. Hill the floor. What I'm saying is that there was a blanket statement made. Mr. Hill.
Chair Hill, I just wanted to clarify from my perspective, I have no idea about any meeting that took place. I have never met any of you before I came onto this board. I'm speaking strictly from what I have seen and what I have observed. And I also want to state that the statement that was just made about this being a laughingstock and this being a joke is a very real thing. And if we want to be able to be a cohesive board, that there cannot be disruptions when we are trying to perform our duty, and that has to be taken very seriously. And it is not happening. I don't know if everyone is not observing these issues, but they exist, and we need to make sure that we are functioning properly from the inside before we can do anything on the outside, as frustrating as it might be. I would like for us to vote now. We have all the information we're gonna have. Let's vote and be done with it, and we don't have to deal with it anymore. Let's vote.
Okay, the question still has not been called. If there are no more debates, I sense a question to call. We had quorum. Let me double check. I said it earlier. Wait. Miss Oluwaso, I heard you. Let me just double check. Kwame Afrey. 1. Tiffany, 2. Berlat Antoine. 3. Hassan Bakruddin is still absent. Celia Bellin, present. 4. Could somebody else keep tally for me? That's 4. David Boatswain is absent. Teresa Barretton. 5. Venancia Colon. 6. Asha Cunningham. 7. Roderick Daly, 8. Herminia Daniels. 9. Natasha Duncan. LaShawn Freeman. Charles Goldberg. 10. Rose Graham. 11. Gail Grandison, excused. Ronald Green. Michael Hill. 12. Whitney Humphrey. Julia James. 13. Present, 13. Kevin Jason. Doris Jones. Nicole Julius. Is that 14? 14. Osna Lewis. Tricia Lewison. Not 15. Edith Mark. Number 16. Brandon Muthery. Daniel McCabe. 17. Donna McLean Grant. Jabril James, Jabril Morris, I'm sorry. Fatima Mohammed. 18. Khadijah Aluwo. 19. Montserrat Oni. 20. Kadiatu Quadrago. 21. June Prasad. Deborah Pointer, 22. Carol Renault, 23. Aaron Roth is absent. Bernadette Shelby absent, 18. Kilmilla Shelley absent. Antoinette Smart, 24. Tyrone Stearns, absent. Kamara Swaby, 25. Simone Sylvester, 26. Heslot, absent. Margaret Viante. Kenrick Westcott. Melanie is absent, and Ivor Wood is absent. We have quorum. So on a quick vote, you must answer yes, no, or abstain. Yes? Yeah. You can come in as well. All right. Kwame Afraid. The vote to remove, seek to removal of J.L. James. Tiffany Anderson. Berlat Antoine. Hassan is absent. Celia Berlin. David. Did you vote no or abstain? David Boatswain, absent. Teresa Barretton. Asha Cunningham. Venencia Colon. Roderick Daly, yes. Herminia Daniels. Say it again. Natasha Duncan, absent. LaShawn Freeman. Charles Galbert. Rose Graham. Gail Grandison is absent. Ronald Green is absent. Michael Hill. Whitney Humphrey. Julia James. Kevin Jason. Doris Jones. Nicole Julius. Ashley Lewis is absent. Tricia Lewison. Edith Mark. Brandon Mutherin. Daniel McCabe. Donna McLean Grant. Jabril Morris, excused. Fatima Mohammed. Khadija Luo. Montserrat Oni. Kadiatu Quadrago. June Prasad. Deborah Pointer. Carol Renault. Aaron Roth. Bernadette Selby, Kimberly Shelley. Antoinette Smart. Tyrone Stearns. Tamara Swaby. Simone Sylvester. Slot is not here. Margaret Viante. What, Kenrick Westcott? I'm sorry? Abstain, I didn't hear. Yes. Okay, so, yes. So in order for any vote to carry, it has to have the majority of the people here voting whatever that vote is, right, for it to carry. So a yes vote. All right, let me finish comfort and then explain. Kenrick Westcott said abstain. Belen is excused and Ivor is absent. All right, so the question to it is, if the majority of anything all right, if the majority of anything is that vote, that's what carries. So the yes would, so there are 28 people present. In order for yes or no or abstain to carry, you must have, what's that, 15, right? So like it's 15, it's 15. So if one vote carries 15, then that vote carries. If that vote doesn't carry 15, then it doesn't carry.
So if there's 7 yeses, 6 noes, and 8 abstentions.
The yeses have to be more than the combined noes and abstentions.
That's what I just
That's
said.
it.
No, but it's not, no, it's, that's not the response. The response is whatever it carries. So if it does, it would fail if they don't have 15 yeses. If you go abstain, then you could actually, if anybody wants to change your vote. We're saying the same thing, but here's the difference though. Wait. Can I finish, please? Can I finish? I am not. I'm explaining the vote of the question that was asked. So if the yes is 15, it carries. If the no is 15, it automatically fails. If to combine anything, so let's say the abstention is, I'm not. So what I'm explaining is that the floor can only, because I went through this with the meeting, that's how I know to answer the question. The vote can be called only by so let's say the abstention wins, because the abstention can win, right? Okay, wait, ladies and gentlemen, I went through this at the borough board meeting. But Miss James, I went through this at the borough board meeting. That is why I'm answering the question, because a vote on abstention failed. And so I want to answer the question that was asked so that people can get an answer. I'm not asking anybody to revote, but to answer the question that was asked. That's it. You can, after I answer the question. I'm not. The answer to the question is any vote that wins, but only the person from the side that wins can open and vote. That's the answer I was trying to give. Okay? Abstentions. So abstention, yes, no. Yes, I'm not the one on trial. Abstention, 1, 2. Yes, 1. Abstention, 2 more. That's 4. No, 1. Yes, 1. Abstention, 1. Yes, yes. No. Abstention, 1. Abstention, 2. No, 1. Yes, 1. Yes, 2. No, 1. Yes, 1. Abstention, 3. No's, 3. Yes, 1. 2. Abstention, 1. No, 1. Okay. You want to double check? 12, 11, and 8. June voted yes, but she didn't. Yeah, no, June voted. Somebody's voted, oh, she didn't take attendance. While Second Vice Chair Oni is tallying the votes, are there any other unfinished business? That we're supposed to be at board session, so any board members? Go ahead.
Board Member Kamara Swaby. Last meeting, Secretary Jabril Morris brought up the fact that this board needs training. It also needs Jesus, but since we don't have that in supply, we need training. And I'm being deadly serious. I think we have a duty to the community that we need to have a proper system in place in order to make sure, because overall, the process of how we do things in terms of transparency to the community members and transparency to members of this board needs to be clear and about the proper procedure of how to do things. Because I think part of the reason this issue, not the only reason, but part of the reason this issue has been drawn out to the way it was because there's a lack of clarity of what we're allowed to do, what are the consequences of what we're doing, and also what is actually the facts in play. Because at the end of the day, people are not afraid of making a decision, is what are we basing our decision on? So I think overall, training, not just for this particular issue, but in general, just to make sure we're moving forward as a board for all issues so we can get forward in an efficient and timely process. So that is the motion I bring. Again, I don't know if we're at quorum in order to authorize that a time will be set that we can have said training, but I think one should be in place.
Vote is no. Yeah. Yeah. I did suggest at the executive board meeting, Ms. Swaby, that I would like to do an executive board and officers retreat, especially on Robert's rules. That's very important. We had done one a few years ago, but I know there has been some turnover of the executive officers and the board, and that needs to rehappen. I had tried to do a retreat this summer for the entire board. I did try that, but that failed miserable because the board, the staff member who was assigned to it, her exact words were, "I'm not doing no retreat and I'm not coming." Those are her exact words. So we're working to get at least an executive board retreat by now and the end of February. Does that answer your question, Ms. Swaby, or no? Yes or no? Yes? Okay. Are there any other member comments? Yes.
Yes, this is Chair Hill. I just wanted to say that, you know, given that I have worked in the court system for 17 years, I have seen a lot of different types of issues and arguments, a lot of different tactics. And it is very apparent to me that there are some people here that are quite skilled in being very tactical and offering up reasonable doubt as to justify or confuse or mislead certain actions that they take. And, you know, it's a very clever thing to do, but if we're going to sit here and represent the community, I think that we have to be very aware of these types of things because it's not going to be the only time that it's been done. And it is definitely something that should be kept in mind because in my opinion, I believe that we all got trumped, Donald Trump here tonight.
Thank you. Any other board member report? All right, please note that Monday is Martin Luther King's Day. Everyone should celebrate, do a date of service on this date. Actually, today being his actual birthday. That just reminded me of that. So please get out, celebrate, do something that's community oriented. I know Senator Kevin Parker normally has something among other elected officials. Please look it out and do that. We understand? Is it accurate? Okay. Yes.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Westcott. Mr. Chair of the Committee Board, I believe that Ms. James ought to be disciplined. But as a person that's been on the board for quite a while, and I know Ms. James has been on the board for quite a while, and she has been doing a fabulous job, okay? But I think what they ought to do, there should be a suspension for 2 months, 3 months or so. I think just dismissing that thing is kind of a hush. For someone that,
One second. This is the member session. If the member wants to get up and say something, it's not a vote. You cannot call for anything, but any member can speak at this point.
okay.
Not you, I'm telling Ms. James. Yes, you can speak. Were you done? Are you finished?
I'm ready. I was just waiting. All right.
Since the chair says that, were you finished, Mr. Westcott? You can continue if I didn't want to interrupt you. Are you finished?
I see what happened. Okay.
I don't want to say, all I try and say is that I think the punishment is harsh because I know many times Ms. James goes off the protocol. But I think that she ought to be penalized in a sense of a month or two discipline. And that's my suggestion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Westcott, for your comment. What I find very interesting is no one has said, okay, Ms. James, you're the treasurer, district manager, you handle the financial aspects. No one has addressed the facts that as a treasurer, I am entitled to review the board's financial operations. I am entitled to see the invoices paid. No one, not Borough Hall, never said to the district manager when I spoke to the chairperson about the problem. So we have wasted so much time about one thing, the reluctance of the district manager to release the invoices that were paid. All of this was avoidable. So much time has been wasted. And not one member here has stood up and said, isn't that a problem? No, the chairperson was within his ability and capacity to direct the district manager to give me the invoices. Look at how much time has been wasted. That is why people mock us, because we don't know how to conduct ourselves. So Mr. Westcott, all of this could have been avoided had you spoken up and said, but by the way, the treasurer is entitled to see the financial information. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, point of order. That's not true, because I have asked multiple times what if you have gotten the invoices and why you haven't gotten the invoice. Yeah, but I've asked, and I think people are concerned because we all want to make sure that the work of the board is carried out. So we had 29 people present. Someone was absent during the roll call, but then actually voted. And so the vote as it stands is 10 yeses, 8 noes, and 11 abstentions. So the vote does not carry. I'll repeat it just so for clarity, 10 yeses, 8 noes, and 11 abstentions.
That's for you, Mr.
For the record, 10 yeses, 8 noes, 11 abstentions.
All right. With that being said, are there any other new business, old business? Can I get a motion to adjourn? Can I, one person? Khadijah motions to adjourn. Can I get a second? Dr. Renaud seconds the motion. All in favor of adjournment, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay.